Hello again there, Libra. Dadhichi here with the February 2019 monthly forecast. Thanks for joining me. To those of you that are new, sit back, relax. I'll be giving you a brief synopsis of what I consider some of the main transits for you this month. And actually, it could be a little combative this month because I'm noticing there that Mars is transiting in the opposite sign to your sun sign. Now, it's been there for a little while, but why should this month be any different? Because it's now just entered into that very impactful conjunction with Uranus. And Uranus has been there in your 7th house of relationships for a while. That's definitely shaking things up. And it's showing us the need to exercise some restraint. I guess that's the key word for you during this transit, especially up until the 14th, because Mars will remain here. It will go into a more intense phase of its conjunction with Uranus as the days progress, and then bang, it moves out of that area into your 8th house of sexual matters. But before that, we also see that there's going to be a very important new moon taking place in your 5th house of love affairs, romance, creativity. And therefore, at least in the initial part of the month, what we see here is this thread or theme relating to your relationships. Now, the 5th house new moon is great, and we see there also the Sun and Mercury transiting right now, hence the new moon, when the moon comes into conjunction with the Sun. So that's a lovely combination, and hopefully one that's going to trigger a bit of balance for you when it comes to negotiating these rather explosive, abrupt, and progressive energies of Mars and Uranus in your significant relationship sector. I dare say it will work out to your advantage. Mars moving to the 8th house of intimacy thereafter, after the 14th, means that you'll be able to, well, not be able, but you have a drive for intimacy. And it's usually a sexual intimacy, although we do bring psychological issues under the jurisdiction of this sector. In any case, you have drive, you have a push, you have a desire to connect with that deeper psychological, intimate, sexual area of your relationships. And the new moon that occurs on the 5th is a way to open up, I was going to say that can of worms. Sometimes it is a can of worms. Let's just say to open up that topic with your significant other. You still have that presence of Jupiter in your 3rd house, which is always good for communications. Venus is there as well. I'm just going to try to get a handle here on when Venus, well, there is very early in the month, it moves to the 4th house. So if some of these problems are domestically related, Venus has the added benefit and positive spin that it brings a favourable harmony to the family circumstance. The 4th house is your mother, your family. Everything domestic is covered by that. And Venus, moving through the 4th house, gains what we call directional strength. So a planet endowed with directional strength is strong. In your case, it will be moving through the sign of Capricorn, which is a wholly friendly sign to Libra. So that normally brings with it some good results. Actually, after the 3rd and for most of the month, we see, because Venus is your ruling planet, it is definitely going to bring you into a more domesticated situation. You're going to try to resolve some things there. Venus is, of course, an artistic, creative planet. You're going to want to, make your home your palace, make that somewhere significant for you to feel comfortable. So this shows a month where you're more indrawn, more likely to stay within closed doors and do your work within the family context. February 10, Mercury to the 6th house. That is very much a work-orientated transit. It brings you to the methodologies and the means at your disposal for working through the tasks in the job at hand. It also indicates communications with people who are serving you. For example, workplace colleagues, if you're a boss. This is also on a personal note because your Venus in the 4th house, work at home and dealing with tradespeople or people that actually serve you in some capacity. So communication there is necessary to overcome any sort of misunderstandings that you have. We mentioned the transit of Mars in your 8th. The Sun will also move into this 6th house on the 18th, so that accentuates some of that earlier influence of Mercury, showing that you have to get your plan in order, make sure that everyone's on the same page so there's no misunderstanding in terms of deadlines and so on and so forth. Venus moves out of the 4th house the first day of next month, but you start to feel the impact of that as well. So although it's a domestic month, towards the very last few days of the month, you'll see that amorous streak start to come back and draw your attention away from family matters, probably because you'll achieve something there and feel comfortable enough to venture out and go and enjoy a bit more socialising at that time. But more on that next month. Do take a look at astrology.com.au, my website. I've typed a whole lot of this up in more detail for you so you can see the chronological meaning of the transits of the planets in your horoscope. We have the yearly horoscope there, daily, so you can fit all of these together to get a reasonably good assessment of where you're going over the coming months and year. If you need to contact me, do so here, subscribe. Dadhichi at astrology.com.au is my email address. And if you've got any questions, by all means, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Till next month, have a safe and happy one, and I look forward to your company again. Bye-bye now.